Good morning po sa lahat ng mga kadete from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, sa lahat po ng professors, instructors po, guest lecturers sa criminology program, pati na yung mga review lecturers natin in various review centers nationwide, pati na yung mga takers for the upcoming criminologist licensure examination under the new curriculum po. Welcome po sa lahat. Welcome po sa YouTube platform po natin. Ito po ang platform sa lahat po ng libre. Libre ha, free lectures, wala pong bayad. No need to ask me mga kadetes because a lot of inquiries I received. There are a lot of inquiries I received kung may bayad po ba tayo para magkaroon ng access sa mga video discussions po natin. Lahat po ng naka-upload po sa platform sa YouTube are basically free. So wala pong no need for an amount to gain access. Tulong po sa inyo, especially yung mga takers na wala pong pera para makapag-enroll sa mga review center. So this is my legacy, a small gesture to help those persons who are financially challenged at hindi makapag-enroll sa mga review center. So again, sa lahat po ng mga takers sa criminologist licensure examination, I hope everybody is already prepared po sa upcoming criminologist licensure exam. Dapat po preparado na po tayo. And I'd like also to introduce again yung Big Queno book po natin at saka yung Big Queno online, yung Facebook page po natin. If in case you are looking for updates, kasi may bago po tayong table of specification right now that is crafted pero hindi pa po nagiging finalize yan, hindi pa po siya pwedeng ma-implement kasi wala pa pong resolution. We are waiting for it. Update po sa TOS, tsaka update din po in terms of the upcoming board examination schedule, mga concern, pati na rationalization, doon po ilagay natin sa Big Queno Online, yung platform po natin sa Facebook. Okay? So, dalawa lang po ang episodes natin sa therapeutic modalities. Kasi nga po, ang topics ng subject na ito are very few. Few lang po. And as you can observe mga kadete, ang mga topics po sa therapeutic modalities nag-overlap po sa other two subjects, yung non-institutional at saka yung institutional correction. Pero, tandaan po, makinig po ang lahat, tandaan, may 20 po na mga tanong na lalabas from the subject. Yung remaining na 80, 40 of it will come from institutional correction. The other 40 will come from non-institutional correction. So, 20 po ang lalabas dito. So, again, do not be complacent. Target po natin, mga kadete. Target po natin, listen up. Ang target po natin is to get a perfect score sa correction area. Kasi po, ang correction area has the least number of subjects that you have to study. List po, 3 lang yan na mga subjects. Now, without further ado, para makasave time po tayo, let us move now to the Reformation and Rehabilitation Program of the Department of Justice, particularly sa isang ahensya na under sa DOJ. Itong tinatawag nating PPA. PPA stands for Parole and Probation Administration. Okay? Parole and Probation Administration. Ang Parole and Probation Administration is basically under the umbrella of the Department of Justice. By the way, to know more about probation, I discuss very comprehensively this topic under non-institutional correction. May video discussion din po tayo tungkol dito. So again, ang PPA is under the Department of Justice. Now, ang DOJ PPA Rehabilitation Program, may 3-pronged approaches po yan. 3 approaches po sa rehabilitation ng isang kriminal under the DOJ PPA. Una, itong tinatawag nating restorative justice. Pangalawa, itong therapeutic community. Pangatlo, volunteers. Remember mga kadete, ang definition ng therapeutic community sa DOJ PPA at saka yung general definition ng therapeutic community is different. Pero medyo may similarity lang naman. May paraphrasing lang na nangyayari. Sa episode 1, I discussed comprehensively kung anong ibig sabihin ng therapeutic community program. So, unang approach po sa pag-treat ng isang offender at saka pag-prevent ng krimen is itong tinatawag nating restorative justice. It's philosophical foundation. Pangalawa, therapeutic community, yung treatment modality ng DOJ-PPA, at saka yung tinatawag nating volunteers as lead community resource o tinatawag itong volunteerism. Dalawa pong punto na dapat nating tandaan in terms of restorative justice. Number one, pag restorative justice from the word restore, that means you have to heal the wounds. You have to heal the wounds created by the commission of the crime. Question, ano bang ibig sabihin ng healing of wounds? Healing of wounds, meaning dyan, to restore or to mend the broken relationship. Okay? To mend or to cure or to heal the broken relationship. Ano ba ang relationship na pinag-usapan dyan? Relationship between you na offender towards the victim. Or yung relationship between you, the offender, and the community. So basically, una po restorative justice from the word to restore. Ano ba ang i-restore? Meaning, i-heal yung wounds. Bakit i-heal yung wounds? Ano ba ibig sabihin dyan? It's a metaphor. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng metaphor na yan? Healing of wounds means to restore or to heal or to mend the broken relationship. Sino ba ang relationship? Or sino ba ang pagmamayari ng relationship? Between you, the offender, and the community, or between you and the victim. Okay? Pangalawang punto, pag restorative justice, as I have mentioned, tatlo po ang involved dito. Okay? Collective Ibig sabihin ng collective, dapat ang tatlo should be present. Una, yung taong nag-commit ng crime, yung offender. Pangalawa, yung recipient of the crime, itong biktima. And pangatlo, itong stakeholder, itong community. Ibig sabihin, yung offender, yung biktima, at saka yung community should be working, coordinating hand in hand how to deal with the consequences of the crime of a specific offense. So sa restorative justice, parang meeting po yan. Andyan yung biktima, andyan yung criminal, or andyan yung perpetrator, andyan yung representative coming from the community. And they will be talking with each other. And it will actually be effective, especially in mending the broken relationship. Kasi on the part of the offender, if you are facing the victim, yung approach mo, first strategy mo would be to ask an apology or forgiveness to the victim. On the other hand, the victim, if he will have the chance to forgive the criminal, there is a big possibility na at the end of the day, when they will move out from the room, yung relationship ng biktima at saka nung offender is naging okay na. Pag naging okay yan, pag nagkasalubungan sa daan, I tell you, they will become friends and best companions again. Okay? Kasi po, ang purpose po ng restorative justice is not to complicate the situation or not to multiply criminality because of a certain crime. Kasi po, not to malign some regions in Mindanao, may kultura po tayo, ubusan ng lahi. Pag ang isang membro ng pamilya pinatay ng isang tao, the immediate family or the immediate member of that family will have vengeance, will have retributive acts. So ang gagawin nila, pag ang member ng pamilya nila pinatay, what they have to do is to counteract. So patayin nila yung isang membro ng pamilya ng perpetrator. So ubusan ng lahi po. So pag ubusan ng lahi, crime will multiply. Pero through restorative justice, if yung wounds are healed, nako, they will become friends. And the relationship that is broken will be restored back. So unang punto to heal the wounds. Ano ibig sabihin ng healing of wounds? Ibig sabihin dyan, to heal the relationship or to mend. Ibig sabihin ng mend, heal. Pareho lang po yan. Heal or to treat the relationship or to restore the relationship. Pangalawang punto, sino ba ang involved dito? Tatlo. Una, offender. Pangalawa, biktima. At saka yung community. Okay? Restorative justice po ang tawag. Pangalawa, under the DOGPPA, itong tinatawag na therapeutic community. Again, this is similar definition with the previous definitions that we had in episode 1. It's a self-help social learning treatment model that uses the TC family or community of staff, PPOs and VPAs, and clients as the primary therapeutic vehicle to enable clients to move from wrong living to right living. Voluntarism with volunteer provision aids as lead community resource, the PPA will maximize citizen participation and involvement in crime prevention and treatment of offenders. So una po, therapeutic community. So sa therapeutic community po, ang nangyayari po dito sa self-help, as mentioned po sa episode 1, ibig sabihin ng self-help po, ikaw mismo, pag may interest ka to reform yourself, then the program will become effective. Self-help po, kasi po, the treatment of becoming a good individual from bad to good depends upon you. Okay? Pag interesado ka, from a law violator, you will be changed into a law-abiding citizen of the country. Kasi interesado ka. Self-help. So, depende po sa iyo, if you wanted or if you open your door for the rehabilitation to come in or for reformation to come in, then that would be better. Pero if, again, you will not allow yourself to be changed, wala po tayong magagawa dyan. Self-help po kasi. Pangalawa, bakit po social learning siya? Tinatawag na social learning. Kasi po may TC family tayo. Therapeutic community family. Ang therapeutic community, again, it's a community because it does not only involve you or two persons. Marami po kayo dyan. Okay? Ang involved with the same problem. Number 3, again, is itong tinatawag nating voluntarism. Ano ba ang voluntarism? Ang voluntarism is, again, ito po ang tinatawag na lead community resource ng PPA. So, may mga volunteer provision aids po tayo na tumutulong po, minsan wala itong honorarium o walang allowance. Tumutulong po sila in order to maximize citizen participation and involvement. At the same time, makapagtulong din po sa crime prevention and treatment of offenders. So, ito po ang tatlong approaches ng DOGPPA sa rehabilitation program po nila. Okay? Now, meron po tayong categories of therapeutic community under the Department of Justice, Parole and Probation Administration. Unang category po, itong tinatawag nating behavior management, okay? Under TC of the DOGPPA. Ano ba ang behavior management? These are actions and conscious inactions to enhance the probability people individually and in groups choose behaviors which are personally fulfilling, productive, and socially acceptable. So for short, ibig sabihin ng behavior management is about modifying our set of behaviors. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng behavior? Behavior is on the way how we react to something, how we respond to something. So in behavior management, the behavior of a person will be modified. Modified from something that is bad into something that is fulfilling, something that is productive, and something that is socially acceptable. Socially acceptable. Ano ba ibig sabihin dyan? Ibig sabihin na socially acceptable. Question, is it socially acceptable pag ang isang tao is tamad? Pag ang isang tao will not work? Or if a person will keep on stealing properties just to earn a living, is it socially acceptable? The answer is basically no. So, i-change po, ibahin yung behavior ng isang tao from person who is very irresponsible and unproductive to something like a behavior that is socially acceptable, as a behavior that is productive. Pangalawa, intellectual or spiritual aspect. Sa spiritual aspect, the way individuals seek and express meaning and purpose and the way they experience their correctedness, their connectedness to the moment, to self, to others, to nature, and to the significant or sacred. So basically, ang spiritual aspect po, yung aspeto ng spiritual. Usually, ang mga pastors po or mga priest or mga lay ministers pumupunta po sa mga provisioners po natin at paroles para po at least makapagmensahe, because that is one way of shifting again the behavior of a person from God to good. Intellectual aspect on the other hand is involving a person's ability to think and to understand ideas and information. So pag sa board examination, it's about understanding ideas and information, intellectual aspect po yan. Pero if it's about your connection to God, it could be, the answer could be spiritual aspect. Next, emotional and social aspects. Sa emotional po, involves learning what feelings and emotions are, understanding how and why they occur, recognizing your own feelings and those of others, and developing effective ways for managing those feelings. For example, how you will handle anger. Okay? How to be compassionate, to be benevolent, how to be kind, how to be humble. Ito po, emotional aspect po. Tinuturuan po yung mga provisioners and paroles about this. Pangalawa, under number 3, social aspect, is about improving the well-being of every individual in society so they can reach their full potential. Pangapat, vocational and survival aspects. Vocational aspects, process of defining occupational goals and launching a career, which involves a whole series of decisions and actions that culminate into a job or profession. This also includes educating the client to improve learning disabilities. So, sa vocational aspect po, tuturuan po kayo ng anything that could help you earn a living. So, probably TESDA will be coordinated or will be involved in this. Siguro tuturuan kayo ng how to make a lantern. Handicrafts, tuturuan po yung mga provisioners and paroles natin a lot of craftsmanship para po to help earn a living. Then survival aspects, the process of motivating and guiding to achieve independence and assume responsibilities for themselves and others. Okay? So yun po ang mga categories ng TC under the PP. Punta naman tayo kung ano ba ang mga aktibidades, mga activities under sa Therapeutic Community Modality Program ng Parole and Provision Administration. Una po, itong tinatawag nating individual and group counseling. So ang counseling, ibig sabihin dyan, pagbigay ng advice, pagbigay ng counsel, okay? So it could either be individual counseling, ibig sabihin dyan, one-on-one. Pero pag group counseling, isang grupo. So sa individual, bawat isa binibigyan ng counsel. Pero sa grupo, dalawa kayo or tatlo or apat binigyan ng counsel or mga advices. Ang purpose po ng individual and group counseling is to help. Tulungan po or to assist yung mga parole at saka yung mga provisioners para po mabigyan ng solusyon sa mga problema nila. Pag-identify ng mga solutions, pag-reconcile ng mga conflicts, and to help resolve the challenges or to resolve these conflicts. So yan po, individual and group counseling. Pangalawa, itong moral, spiritual values formation. This moral, spiritual, and values formation is done by means of launching seminars, trainings, lectures, usually non-government organizations po, schools, and other religious associations po ang involved din. For example, yung mga religious sects, okay? Mga Adventist, born again, Catholic, Iglesia ni Cristo, Mormons, pumupunta yan para at least makatulong po sa mga provisioners at saka paroles. So, moral, spiritual, and values formation. Pangatlo, itong work or job placement referral. This is the most wonderful I think activity po sa TC. Kasi po, sa Therapeutic Community Modality Program, pag probationer ka po, pag parole ka, you are branded as a criminal by the community. And we cannot reject the fact that as of now, recently po, sa panahon po natin, pag nakapag-commit ka ng krimen, ang realidad po sa ground is that you will be discriminated in terms of employment. Kaya nga po, part of the requirements in most of the employment agencies is basically an NBI clearance. Para malaman pag if you are incriminated with a particular crime. Kasi pag nakapag-commit ka ng krimen, usually, you will not be accepted. Pero ito, good thing po, sa isa sa mga activities sa TC po ng PPA is work or job placement referral. So sa programa po na ito, yung probationer or yung parole is referred for work or job placement through the officer's own personal effort, contact, or information. Ibig sabihin, sa work or job placement or referral, tinutulungan po yung kliyente. Sino ba yung kliyente? Yung probationer or yung parole. Tinutulungan po sila para at least po makapaghanap ng trabaho. Or tinutulungan para magkaroon ng isang trabaho. Okay? Pang-apat, vocational and livelihood and skills training. Okay? Isa po ito sa kanina sa kategory ng TC. Vocational livelihood and skills training. So tuturuan po lahat ng anything na pwede pong mapagkitaan po. Like for example, gagawa ka ng lantern ngayon or ito, candle making or probably food preservation and processing, so on and so forth. Pwede din po papasok yung TESDA at tuturuan yung mga kliyente, yung probationers at saka paroles on welding or probably other means of livelihood. Panglima, itong health, mental, and medical services. So, dito po, isa po itong activity, programa ng PPA under TC to address some of the basic needs of clients and their families. Medical missions po inilunsad to provide various forms of medical and health services including physical examination and treatment, napakaganda po, free medicines and vitamins, dental examination and treatment, drug dependency test and laboratory examination. Libre po yan ha. So this is the beauty of therapeutic community under PPA. So, pero ang tanong ngayon are these activities implemented? It could be a rhetorical question. Maganda po tayo sa prinsipyo at teorya, pero ang tanong ngayon, nagkatotoo ba? Are these activities really implemented? May libre po ba? Siguro may libre. Based on my observation, may mga libre naman po in terms of health, mental, and medical services. Kaya lang, limited po yung serbisyo kasi po limited po yung budget. Okay? Number 6, literacy and education. So this is also in coordination with local government unit. Okay? Local government units. Adult education classes are availed of to help clients learn basic writing, pangalawa yung reading, yung basic arithmetic, yung sa math po ay tinutulungan po yung mga kliyente, yung mga paroles and probationers para po yung hindi marunong magbasa will know how to read. Yung hindi marunong mag-calculate ng basic math, matulungan din po. Okay? So, yung mga no read at saka no write, or those persons who are considered as illiterate, tinutulungan po by means of literacy and education program. One of the activities po under the TC. Pang-pito, community service. Dito po, papasok yung mga activities para po sa ikauunlad ng community. For example, tree planting, beautification drives or clean-up drives, cleaning and greening of surroundings, maintenance of public parks and places, garbage collection, blood donation, and similar socio-civic activities. Or free haircut. Baka may mga probationers or paroles na marunong maggupit ng buhok. Tapos maglunsad kayo. Free haircut. So this is basically a community service. Pangwalo, client self-help organization. Ito, kadete sa board examination, ibig sabihin ng client self-help organization, Yung mga provisioners or parolees po, gagawa kayo ng asosasyon or gagawa kayo ng kooperatiba. Pwede po ang asosasyon or ang kooperatiba is makakatulong po to earn financially. Okay? So, pag gagawa kayo ng asosasyon, ang purpose po ng asosasyon na yan is to earn a living, mas maigi po. Okay? Client self-help organization po yan. Number 9, payment of civil liability. Now again, dalawa po ang posibleng haharapin ng isang provisioner. Una po, pag may violation, is even yung parole, pag may violation or infraction sa mga policies or sa mga instructions na ibinigay sa kanila, pwede po, they will be arrested. Una dyan, yung imprisonment, especially yung sa provisioner. Pag may infraction, pwede po, you will be arrested and you will spend your rehabilitation inside the prison. Pangalawa, yung civil liability. Remember that in the commission of the crime, especially pag ang krimen is a violation under the revised penal code, may ano po yan, may mga civil damages or mga fines that you have to pay. So part ng activities ng Parole and Probation Administration is to help the parole or the client to fulfill their financial obligations to the victims. Pang-sampo, itong tinatawag nating environment and ecology, awareness, concern in preserving ecological balance and environmental health. So seminars, lectures are conducted wherein clients need to participate. So, pwede po programa about anti-smoke belching campaign or probably organic farming or maybe waste management or even segregation and disposal and proper care of the environment. So, part din po yan sa pagsampo na activity, itong tinatawag nating environment and ecology. And the last one, yung labing isa po, itong sports and physical fitness. Part din po ng mga activities ng thesis sa PPA ang mga sports, mga games, okay? To enhance physical well-being of the clients. Friendly competition of clients from the various offices of the sectors together with the officers provide an enjoyable and healthful respite. So try to imagine this. Provisioners ng isang municipality tsaka provisioners on the other municipality versus provision officers, di ba? Versus provision aides or volunteers, di ba? It could be something that will create a healthy environment. Okay? Ang sports and physical fitness will not only be for physical well-being, but it is also one way of establishing a healthful kind of environment, a very healthy relationship between you as the provision officer and the provisioners, your clients. Okay? Memorize po natin ang cardinal rules of Therapeutic Community Modality Program ng PPA. No drugs, no violence or threat of violence, no sexual acting out, and no stealing. Yan po ang cardinal rules of the Therapeutic Community Modality Program ng Parole and Probation Administration. Okay? So, yun po. Now, sunod, procedures in behavioral management. Okay? Dalawa po ang procedure dyan. Una, itong tinatawag nating pre-morning meeting. Pangalawa, yung morning meeting. Ibig sabihin ng before. So, sa hindi pa ginagawa yung morning meeting, tawag dyan pre-morning meeting. Sa pre-morning meeting, ang duration po dyan, 15 minutes. Okay? Sino ba ang included sa pre-morning activity? Ang included po dyan, senior residents, tsaka yung counselor. Okay? So, how it is done? The attendees will discuss the activities to be engaged in the morning meeting, corresponds to the parts and will agree on the theme or concept of the day, includes validation of pull-ups and other concerns. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng validation of pull-ups? Ibig sabihin ng pull-ups po, ito po yung mga lapses. Okay? Ito po yung lapses ng mga kliyente, ng mga provisioners or ng mga parolees. Or for short, mga infractions, mga pagkakasala, mga minor infractions po na nakomit ng isang parole or isang provisioner. So, dinidiscuss po yan, binavalidate po kung totoo po bang nangyari sa pre-morning meeting po sa 15 minutes na yan. Sino ang included? Yung senior residents Senior residents, pangalawa yung counselor. Pagkasunod ng 15 minutes na pre-morning meeting, susunod agad yung morning meeting na 1 hour. Ang included dito, itong lahat na residente. Ang ibig sabihin ng residente, itong mga kliyente, itong provisioners, or yung mga parolees na subject under the behavioral management. So, lahat po will be included. So, daily ritual po yan, attended by the whole community. It is usually facilitated by the member of the community, divided into two parts. Una, public announcements. Sa public announcements, reading important activities or businesses and other information that the community needs to know. Ang pangalawang part po, itong community concern. Sa community concern, dyan po mangyayari ang community spirit building or up ritual. So yan po ha, ang procedures in behavioral management. Yung pre-morning meeting, ang included is yung senior residents lang at saka counselor. Pero sa morning meeting na, lahat po, pati ang counselor will be included. Okay? Next, lumabas ito sa board examination po, mga kadete, behavior shaping tools. Lumabas po ito, and I tell you, sa lahat po na mag-take ng board examination now, sa lahat po na mag-take ng board examination, kindly memorize and comprehend. Not just memorize intindihin po natin ang i-memorize po natin. Behavior shaping tools is employed to strengthen the learning process and the practice of a more adaptive behaviors within a social learning environment. Ang purpose po ng mga instrumento ng mga ito is to palakasin po ang learning process ng mga kliyente and to practice po sa isang behavior or sa isang personality na adaptive po sa social learning environment. For example, pag nagsisigawan ka inside the community, ang pagsisigaw po is basically not socially acceptable. So, part po yan ng behavior shaping tools is tuturuan ka kung paano po mag-behave in a society na acceptable po ang behavior po natin. 8 po lahat ang basic shaping tools po natin. Una, itong tinatawag nating Talk 2. Sa Talk 2 po, 2 ang involved. Una, yung membro ng therapeutic community program. Pangalawa, yung another member. Yung another member na yan, ito po ang nag-commit ng minor infraction. So, ang gagawin ngayon ng isang miyembro ng therapeutic community, pupuntahan niya yung nag-commit ng minor infraction, tapos sabihan niya, i-advise niya in a friendly and in a private setup. So, friendly manner yung pag-uusap, at the same time, private po. So, for example, nakagawa yung isang miyembro ng isang kamalian, ang gagawin ng isang the other member is puntahan niya agad yung nakapag-commit ng minor infraction, tapos bigyan niya ng advice, okay? In a friendly and in a private context po. Talk 2 po ang una na tool. Pangalawa, itong pull-up. Na-mention ko po ito kanina, di ba? Ang pull-ups po, ginagawa po yan prior, di ba? Sa pre-morning meeting. Ano ba yung pre-morning meeting? Yung 15 minutes, di po ba? So, sa pre-morning meeting, that will involve senior residents and the counselor. Diyan po mangyayari ang pull-ups. Ang pull-ups po, pag una, unknown po yung nag-commit ng infraction. Ibig sabihin ng unknown, hindi po napag-alaman kung sino pong tao, sino po ang provisioner or parole ang nag-commit ng mistake. So, unknown. Pero kailangan yan i-validate prior sa morning meeting. Yung sa 15 minutes, itong tinatawag kanina na pre-morning meeting. I-validate po yan. I-raise up po. Tingnan kung totoo po bang nangyari ang mistake, ang lapses, or ang missed missed something or lack of something, yung mga ganyan. So, i-validate po yan prior or sa pre-morning meeting. Okay? So, lahat po ng miyembro ng therapeutic communities are responsible again to pull up minor infractions done by the peers. Okay? So, lahat po will be involved. Unlike in the talk 2, dalawa lang po ang involved. Yung una, yung unang miyembro, pangalawa, yung ikalawang miyembro na nag-commit ng minor offense. Pero sa pull-ups po, lahat ng members po are responsible po to pull up minor infraction na na-commit po ng mga kasama po or ng peers. Pangatlo, itong dealt with. Sa dealt with naman, ginagawa po ito when negative behaviors or infractions to the house rules or norms are done for the second time of same offense by a resident. So, dalawa na po, pangalawang bises na kinumit yung offense sa isang residente, sa isang provisioner. So, pabalik-balik na po for the second time. So, ang involved po dito is yung panel of 3 senior residents. Yeah, panel of 3 composed of a senior resident peer, and a friend, which are tasked to deliver a serious and stern reprimand to the subjected resident. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng stern? Yung istrikto na pag-reprimand. Pinagsabihan, you have been reprimanded in a stern way para at least yung infraction will not be committed the third time. So sa dealt with, pangalawang bisis na na-commit yung infraction by the same person. Pangalawa, ang involved dito, 3 po na panel or 3 tao sa isang panel. Una is yung senior resident. Pangalawa, yung peer, ibig sabihin ng peer yung kasama. Pangatlo, itong friend. Okay? Sila po ang magbibigay ng reprimands sa isang tao na nakapag-commit ng infraction sa 2 basis na. So, yun po talk to, pull up, dealt with. Ang pangapat, itong tinatawag nating haircut. Sa haircut naman, ginagawa po ito when negative behaviors or infractions to the house rules or norms in same offense are done for the third time or more or for first time but grave offense ang classification. So, pag 2 bisis po, dealt with. Okay? Pag 3 bisis na yan, na nakumit yung same offense, ano na po ang basic behavior shaping tool na gagamitin? So, ang behavior shaping tool na gagamitin dyan, kasi third na, or oftener, pang-4 or pang-5, haircut na po. Okay? So, pwede po ang isang offense, unang commission mo pa lang yan, pero yung offense is classified as grave offense under the rules, under the house rules. Depende po kung ano ang ruling or ang mga instructions or rules ng isang therapeutic community program. So, depende po. It will be given by the department head and other 4 residents with a tone of more serious and can be loud, more harsh, and exaggerated. Okay? Sometimes you exaggerate the reprimandation or you exaggerate the gravity of the verbal reprimandation against the person, and the tone is very serious and it could be loud. Sino po ba ang involved? Department head, tapos 4 na residents. Okay? Sa dealt with, ano po ba ang composition? 3 po. Una, senior resident, isang senior resident, isang peer, at isang friend. Sa haircut, ang involved po 5. Isang department head, tsaka 4 na residents. Okay? Pang-5, learning experience. An action or activity given to a resident who was subjected to haircut or general meeting who did an infraction to correct or modify a behavior. It can be task-oriented, written task, and peer interaction. So, sa learning experience po, resulta po yan sa haircut or general meeting. Ano po ang mangyayari sa learning experience? Bibigyan po ng isang trabaho ang isang tao na nakapag-commit ng infraction or nakapag-commit ng lapses. Bigyan siya ng trabaho, pwede written task or peer interaction. Okay? Learning experience. Okay? Mas okay pag ano lang, peer interaction. Ibig sabihin, makipag-usap ka lang sa mga kapwa mo. Pero itong written task or task-oriented, nako, pwede po. Pero usually, yung mga task dyan is just very minor. Okay? Number 6, itong bans are sanctions to members who commit repeatedly infractions or violations to the cardinal rules by prohibiting, disallowing, or limiting an activity or affiliation to a group. So, sa bans po, ibig sabihin, pag repeated na po yung infraction or violation na ginagawa mo, you will be disallowed or you will be limited in your participation with a certain activity. Or you will be limited in joining affiliation or you will be limited in joining in a particular group. For example, pag may kooperatiba yan na or asosasyon na gagawin or na-establish, pwede po, you will be limited to join kasi po nakaban ka because of your repeated infraction. Second to the last, itong general meeting. So sa general meeting, ang issue po will be discussed with the community to point out the violator or the negative effect of the behavior had on the community. Ibig sabihin, ano po ba ang epekto ng infraction na nagawa ng isang tao? Ang epekto niyan sa komunidad, sa therapeutic community as a whole. Which includes sexual acting out with a fellow resident, taking drugs, and engaging in physical fight with another resident. Other facilities include stealing or even smoking as part of the cardinal rules. Okay? Di ba may cardinal rules po tayo? Yung sinabi po, yung ni-mention ko kanina. Pag violation po dyan, it will be discussed in the community. Tawag po dyan, general meeting. So lahat po involved dito. Or number 8, itong pinaka-last, expulsion. Pag ang isang resident po is incorrigible. Ibig sabihin ng corrigible, incapable of change, napakasutil, talagang walang changes or alteration ng behavior, talagang bad lang yung behavior ng isang tao. So, pag incorrigible siya and becomes a threat to the community, siya yung mag-instigate or mag-initiate ng mga jail disturbances. Or disturbances in the case of provision or parole, siya yung nag-lead ng mga gulo or mga infractions sa isang komunidad. The director, with the recommendation of the disciplinary board, may transfer him or her to the nearest jail facility with appropriate court order. In the case of provision and parole, pwede po dakpin or you will be arrested and then you will be brought. In the case of parole, you will be brought again to jail to serve the remaining sentence. In the case of provisioner, pag may maraming infraction ka na na-commit, nako, sa expulsion, i-arrest ka and ibalik ka po sa prisuan. And you will serve your rehabilitation there in prison or in jail. Okay? So, yon po ang mga major tools of basic shaping po. Basic shaping tools po. Okay? Now, the other basic shaping tool, aside from the 8 that I mentioned a while ago, itong tinatawag nating counseling. Okay, I mentioned the term po kanina counseling. Ano ba ang purpose ng counseling? Yung pag-assist, yung pag-help sa isang grupo or sa isang individual para po ma-solve yung problema, mapag-alaman po ang root cause ng problema at the same time to resolve the conflict. So again, define po natin ang counseling defined as a professional activity of helping individuals, groups, or communities enhance or restore their capacity for psychological, emotional, and social functioning and creating an environment favorable for the attainment of these goals. Characteristics of counseling. Okay? Una, 5 po ito Empathy. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng empathy? It's basically perceiving the client's feelings and to demonstrate accurate perception of the client. It's somewhat like being on the shoes of another person. Okay? Ang empathy po is mas malalim pa yan sa sympathy. Yung empathy is you are trying to be on the situation of the person in order to understand yung feeling niya po. Okay? Yung sitwasyon niya, empathy. Warm involves accepting and caring about the clients as a person regardless of any evaluation or prejudices on the client's behavior or bodily gestures. So without any discrimination, you tend to accept, you tend to care about the client as a person. Ang tawag po dyan, warm. Respect, on the other hand, is the belief in the client's ability to make appropriate decisions and deal appropriately with his or her life situation. So, ibig sabihin ng respect, may paniniwala ka po, belief, na ang isang kliyente may kakayahan siya po to make the necessary decisions in life. Okay? Congruence, ibig sabihin dyan, genuineness is being honest and authentic in dealing with the client. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka po nagpipretend. Okay? Hindi ka nagpipretend dyan. Kasi may mga pretension yan, or yung dealings mo is superficial, it could not be considered as genuine. Dapat po, genuine po, authentic po yung pag-deal po natin. Ginagawa natin kasi gusto na, interesado po tayo. Pero pag ginagawa mo out of pretension, di pwede. Confidentiality means that anything discussed during counseling session is held as private po. Okay? Now, pattern of counseling, ito naman po, 4 yan. Una, introduction, which is 10 minutes. O greetings, part sa greetings would be shaking hands, escorting to counseling, time to develop rapport and assure client confidentiality. So, sabihin dyan, rapport, makapag-establish ka ng connection. Okay? Purpose ng establishment of connection is para may friendly atmosphere. Kasi pag ang counseling, walang friendly atmosphere, yung kliyente mo is have this nervousness or fear towards you as the superior person, there could be no open communication. Pag may intimidation kasi, walang open communication. So, greetings, probably by saying good morning, good afternoon, you shake hands, anything that could establish rapport. Next, information gathering, you know the reason of counseling. Client do more the talking. Counselor may ask open questions. Ano yung ibig sabihin ng open questions? These are questions that are not answerable by yes or no. Okay, kadete ha? Open questions, ibig sabihin, questions that are not answerable by yes or no. For example, if the person will say, why did you do this? Why did you do that? It's basically a open-ended question. Okay? Next, discussion, counselor input. So, sa pangatlo po, ang counselor develops a list of concerns, prioritizes problems, provides plans of action to work. Then, conclusion again, motivate the client that he can do it in session on a positive note. When to break confidentiality. Okay? When to break confidentiality po sa counseling. Una, children are being neglected and abused. So, sa counseling, pag ang sabi ng kliyente, inaabuso siya, tapos ang kliyente is considered as a child, pwede po makapag-report ka. That's breaking confidentiality. Next, appearance in court as a witness, you do not have a choice. Kasi may order yan eh. Client express plan to commit suicide. So, pag sabihin ng kliyente, the next day, I will commit suicide, basically, you have to share the information to authorities. Then, client express plan to harm others. Alright? So, yun po ang mga basis to break confidentiality. Lastly po, mga kadete, I'd like to bring to you, okay? Lastly po, I'd like to bring to you the rehabilitation programs of the Department of Social Welfare and Development. Iba din po ang kanilang mga programa doon sa DSWD, particularly on the youth rehabilitation centers, yung mga bahay pag-asa, and other institutions under the DSWD. Okay? So, treatment interventions sa DSWD, una, counseling, pareho lang po yan sa previous counseling na na-mention po natin. Kalawa po itong tinatawag nating miliotherapy. That is pronounced as miliotherapy. A safe, structured group treatment method for mental health issues. It involves using everyday activities and a conditioned environment to help people with interaction in community settings. Pare-pareho po sa Therapeutic Community Modality Program po ng previous agency. Sa DSWD po, tinatawag itong Milio Therapy. Then number 3, behavioral modification. Again, it is a program that will eliminate or reduce maladaptive behavior sa mga bata or sa mga adults. Then number 4, the therapeutic community. Okay? So, ano ba pinagkaiba ng therapeutic community at saka sa milyo? So, ang sa milyo therapy po, structured po yan, group treatment sa mga tao na may mental health issues. Okay? Mental health ha. Mental health issues, for example, yung mga tao nagsasuffer ng depression. That's a mental health issue. Okay? Pero sa therapeutic community, more on general treatment programs po. Okay? Next, aside from this one, we also have support services and interventions of the DSWD o na po, social services. So, ang social services is a 24-hour professional help extended to the CICL. Ano ba ang CICL? Child in Conflict with the Law. In care of the RRCY. Ano ba ang RRCY? Ang RRCY po, ibig sabihin dyan, Regional Rehabilitation Center for Youth. Or basically, Youth Rehabilitation Center. RRCY. So, Regional Rehabilitation Center for Youth. This includes interventions that seek to restore, develop social functioning of the clients. Okay? Next, home life services. This exposes the clients to a home-like atmosphere conducive to moral development. So, as much as possible, yung sa DSWD po, sa mga Youth Rehabilitation Center, as much as possible, ma-feel ng mga CICL na mga juveniles na yung atmosphere po doon is friendly, na similar to the atmosphere inside the house or inside the home. Then, of course, educational services, part din po yan. ALS will come in, yung alternative learning system po, pupunta sa Youth Rehabilitation Center para mabigyan po ng opportunity po ang mga bata na marunong ng basic learning skills. For example, reading, writing. Minsan nga, pag nag-enroll ng ALS, nakapag-graduate ng elementary or high school. Next, psychological services. It includes in-depth assessment and evaluation of the child's personality and behavior using psychological evaluation and testing with partner agencies. So, titingnan po yung behavior ng tao, yung personalidad niya. Okay? Health services, of course, pagbigay ng medical attention sa mga kliyente. Recreational programs, pag recreation po, ito po ang mga sports. Okay? Sports like basketball, volleyball, cultural activities like singing, dancing, playing, so on and so forth. Next, dietetic services. Kasi po, involved children po ito CICL. May dietetic services which is very different po sa previous na mga agencies. Dito po, ang nutrition ng mga bata po will be given emphasis. And of course, number 8, itong spiritual enhancement program like holding religious services and activities. Alright? Now, at the end of the discussion po, kasi parte po ito ng table of specification, i-discuss po natin, isali po natin ang Republic Act 7309 or the Victim Compensation Program. Ito po ang batas na nag-create ng Board of Claims under the Department of Justice. Ano ba ang purpose ng Board of Claims? Ang purpose po nito is magbigay ng compensation sa mga biktima of unjust imprisonment or detention and victims of violent crimes. Ibig sabihin, pag ang isang criminal napunta sa prisuhan or sa jail, tapos he was subjected to unjust. It was found out that he was been subjected to unjust imprisonment. May Board of Claims po na under sa Department of Justice na magbibigay or mag-grant po ng compensation. Okay? Pero ito ha, sino ang makapag-apply? Sabi ko kanina, yung subject for unjust imprisonment. Pero tingnan natin specifically ha. Una, a person who was unjustly accused, convicted, and imprisoned and subsequently released by virtue of a judgment of acquittal. Ibig sabihin, acquitted po ng mga kaso. Na preso pero acquitted yung krimen. And it was found out na unjust po yung pagka-preso niya or yung pagka-convicto niya. Number 2, a person who was unjustly detained and released without being charged. Without being charged. Unjustly detained. You have to prove that you have been unjustly detained. Na-release ka without being charged. Pangatlo, a person who is a victim of arbitrary detention by the authorities as defined in the revised penal code under a final judgment of the court. Ibig sabihin na arbitrary detention, walang probable cause, walang basihan. Pero inaresto ka and you have been detained without legal grounds. So pwede ka po makapag-file ng compensation. Pangapat, a person who is a victim of violent crime which includes rape and offenses committed with malice which resulted in death or serious physical and or psychological injuries, permanent incapacity or disability, insanity, abortion, so on and so forth. Pag biktima po, pwede po siya makapag-apply ng compensation. Now, ang claim po should be filed with the board by the person entitled to compensation within 6 months after being released from imprisonment or detention or from the date he suffered damage or injury. Otherwise, he is deemed to have waived his claim. Dapat po makapag-file within 6 months. Pag acquitted ka ngayon or pag wala kang charge, mag-file ka na ng compensation. Kasi pag nakalagpas na yan ng 6 months, di na pwede. Nakapag-considered the waive na yan. So, a claimant may file a claim with the board by filing an application form provided by the purpose with the Secretariat of the Board of Claims under the Department of Justice. Then thereafter, he will be interviewed and he will be duly notified of the action taken by the board. Pero, ito po, magkano ba? That's a very interesting question. I hope this will be amplified. For the victims of unjust imprisonment, the compensation shall be based on the number of months of imprisonment and every fraction thereof shall be considered 1 month. Ibig sabihin ng fraction, for example, nakapag-serve ka lang ng 6 na araw, ang 6 na araw is considered as 1 month. Okay? Yun po ang ibig sabihin ng fraction. But in no case shall such compensation exceed 1,000 pesos. So maximum mo po 1,000 pesos lang. So may mga possibility pa na lower to 1,000. Lagay na lang natin sa situation na 1,000 per month. So imagine if you will be there for 1 year, ang makuha mo lang is only 12,000. That's a very laughable kind of provision. Diba? 12,000 lang for 1 month. Imagine the agony that you suffered inside jail and prison. At the end of the year, you will only receive 12 maximum. Nako. In all other cases, the maximum for which the board may approve a claim shall not exceed 10,000. So mali pala ako, it's only 10,000 ako. Pag 1 year yan, sabi ko kanina, it's only probably 12,000 kasi 1,000 per month. Pero ang sabi dito sa provision number 2, it should not exceed 10,000 or the amount necessary to reimburse the claimant the expenses incurred for hospitalization, blah, blah, blah. So for short, 1 year, supposedly 12,000, pinatay ng provision number 2, di po pwedeng mag-exceed. So, ang ma-receive mo lang is only 10,000 maximum. Imagine the pain and in return, you only receive 10,000. That's very, very cheap. Okay? That's the price that you have to, that the government should only pay for the pain, plights, and sufferings you experience inside prison. But anyway, yan po ang batas po natin, the Republic Act. Yung Republic Act 7309. Yun na po ang lahat ng topics natin sa therapeutic modalities. Maraming salamat po for patronizing the YouTube channel and those persons who do not skip the ads po sa mga videos po natin because somehow it help a lot para po sa sa salary po natin para may maitulong po tayo sa may nangangailangan po. Maraming salamat. God bless everyone and good luck po sa lahat ng mag-take ng board examination.